Hello, my name is Clint Beck. I live in Seagrove, North Carolina, which is in the southeastern corner of Randolph County. Here on the farm, we've got honeybees. Also, I got poultry houses that I do pullets on, and then got beef cattle in the back that we raise here on the farm.
Okay.
I remember back growing up that my dad, he kept bees. And the thing I remember was putting the foundation in the frames. We would sit and do that come late winter, and so he got out of bees because of mites, things like that started bees started having problems with, and so he stored his boxes. And then one day after I grew up and got married, moved away. I went over there and I had a neighbor that was keeping bees, and it just perked my interest up. Got some calls from the neighbors that they had some swarms, and then me and Dad would go and get the swarms, and so that's how it started. And then coming to find out, talking to Dad, about beekeeping, is that my grandfather kept bees as well. So my grandfather kept bees, my dad kept bees, and now I'm keeping bees. So I don't know, it's just passing down. So maybe my children can keep bees. I don't know, we'll see. So here, because we had a little bit of winter losses, we're down to, or I'm down to 7 hives on the farm. And so I'm considered a hobbyist beekeeper. I think last year alone, just the hives I had, I think we had produced, I think out of 7 hives, I produced right at 60 gallons of honey. And so you'd think 60 gallons of honey, that's a lot of honey, but that ain't a lot of honey. There's such a demand for honey in North Carolina that I can sell that really, really quick. I mean, it don't take long and I can sell out of that. Whenever we go into beehives, we try to divert the attention off of the beekeeper. They don't like the beekeeper going into the hive. And so at that, they'll try to sting. They try to push me away. So we use smoke, and the smoke helps to deter the bee. It takes its attention off of me and puts it on to trying to take care of the hive. So as far as hive management that we have, everybody's got their own way to keep these bees alive or to make honey. And so what we'll do is, or what I do is, there's several ways that I manipulate the hive to try to get these bees to produce more honey. The colony is always, they're wanting to expand or reproduce. And the way a colony reproduces is through swarms. So the colony is instinctively going to swarm. If whenever the springtime comes, the bees start building up, then they get gearing up for swarming. They'll get their population up and get stores brought in, and have a lot of brood there ready to go as far as being coming along. And then they'll start to swarm, and they'll have some queen cells, and then the queen will leave, the mother will leave with half the bees, and they'll go off to a tree branch, and they'll go find another place to stay. But what we try to do as beekeepers, we try to keep them in the hive. To make honey, you have to have a bunch of bees. I think the statistic is that one bee in its lifetime makes 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey. 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey is made from one bee its whole life. It takes its whole life to make 1/12. There's one queen cell that's on this frame.
Oh, that little.
So right there. That's one queen cell. Some of the other things on the frame is there's some drone brood here at the bottom. So it's raised up really far off the frame, and that's drone. That's how you can tell the difference between that's the males that are in the cells capped, and then the ones that are flat, more flat like this right here, that's your females. The workers, that's the workers. But you can see there all the honey that's they're backfilling in that. So some of the methods I use is I'll take this one and I'll split, and I'll take and put the queen in the bottom, and I think it's called, I might mispronounce it, but it's a Damari split. And I'll put the queen in the bottom with empty comb, and just put her in there and put some bees down there with her. And I'll put a queen excluder. I'll put 2 honey supers, and I'll leave the brood and everything upstairs. And what I'm trying to do is produce an artificial swarm. So when the bees down there, when the queen is down there with no brood, they think that they have swarmed and they're in the new hive, even though they're in the same old hive. And then all the other bees are upstairs, and they don't know that they have a queen in there. Her smell does not get upstairs to the top boxes. So the top boxes, they'll go into emergency trying to make queen cells. I'll knock those back down because I don't want them to make queens. I'm trying to build my population. And so that's just one method I use on trying to keep my bees here. And that's the reason why my beehives are so tall is these two are brood boxes that have brood in them. And then these are two honey supers that have put a gap in between the queen and the rest of the hive. And so I've got an entrance here for bees to come in and out, and also the main hive entrance down at the bottom. And so with that, and all I'm trying to do is produce more population. That way I have more bees to go out and get honey and bring back to make honey. We do have, there's one bee right there, there's a bee with pollen in her baskets there. I don't know if you can see that or not. So she's got inside of her basket, she's got pollen on her legs. But that's fresh nectar that's coming in. This is 2025 nectar that's coming in, that they're bringing in. So they're doing well, and looks like to me the split that I did is working. And so in this area that we have a honey flow, and the honey flow starts, the major honey flow starts around the 1st of April. And then we get into, so there's mainly a dearth in the summertime, which means there's no nectar flowing. The bees have got nothing to do during that time but kind of keep their stores. I always harvest honey around July. That kind of gives everything, I know everything in our area is done. As far as blooming, there is no nectar coming in. And so I'll pull honey in July, and I try to pull all the honey I can. Make sure that I leave enough for the bees to eat on until the fall. Will have a decent honey flow in the fall. Most beekeepers in our area have to feed the bees some sugar water, some sucrose sugar water to get the hives through the winter. But I say probably the biggest challenge is keeping them alive. There is so much that is against these bees, and it affects the hive. The advice that I give to somebody would be, work hard. There is some money out there, but I know it's hard. It's hard to come by. It's hard to get started. That's what I did. I worked hard at it. Had some alternative income to start with, and that's how I got everything going. So maybe there might be some older farmers that you can come alongside and mentor. And I'm part of an association, which is the Randolph County Livestock and Poultry Improvement Association. And with that, we've got young people and a lot of older people, a lot of older farmers there that, they can come in and network and, talk to them. And I mean, that's how I kind of got started here myself, was networking with some of the people at the Livestock Association. We need more young farmers. I mean, we got to have it because, when I get older and not able to farm, I want to be able to eat. And without farmers, we're not going to be able to eat.